The death of Van Saar Prime von Marx was told in passing throughout many sectors of Acropolis. House Cawdor lit his body aflame, and the ashes that remained were scattered to the wind. The gang Cybernetic is in need of new leadership, and Helix begins his watch over his Van Saar brothers and sisters. The group is called upon to deal with recent Nomad raids in the scenario Border Dispute. It's coming up next as MGM presents Ashes of Acropolis.
Alright, welcome back to MGM, a great place for casual gaming. This is Ashes of Acropolis, episode 16. The campaign table is now updated, and both of these gangs are looking for their first win. With the death of a Van Saar Prime in their matchup with House Cawdor, it will be difficult for them to recover, but we're going to see. Cybernetic will have 5 active fighters ready for battle today, as they do have a ganger in recovery. They bring on a new tech and assign him the equipment from their former Prime. This includes a plasma pistol and energy shield, with von Marx scripted on both. The Nomads of Clan Una prepare for battle, down 2 fighters, one of them their chieftain Eros. They have 5 active fighters as well, deciding to bank their 30 credits. The scenario today is Border Dispute from the 2018 rulebook. The battlefield will be standard, and crews will be random D3 plus 3 with reinforcements. Van Saar rolled up for 4 starters on the table, and the Nomads rolled up for all 5. Tactics cards will be 1 random at the start of each round after the first. Clan Una will have a random tactics card for Underdog in this one. They get numbers without end, allowing them to return fighters that have been taken out of action. For deployment, Clan Una has picked 1/2 of their table to be their turf, and then they'll set up a random fighter within 1 inch of the center of the battlefield and their half. The other gang will do the same. Afterwards, both sides will deploy at least 12 inches from the dividing line, and then each gang will finally set up a relic in their deployment zone at least 5 inches away from a battlefield edge. The gang relic gives +2 to cool and leadership tests within 6 inches unless they are defiled. A gang can defile a relic with a double action within 1 inch of it. Reinforcements will come in at the start of each end phase. The battle ends when only 1 gang has fighters remaining. Victory goes to the gang left on the battlefield, or the gang that still has their relic intact when the battle is over. We're going to see some action straight out of the gates in this one, as the random fighters have been rolled up. One of the Nomad champions and Cypher will be placed at the middle of the board. Turn 1 is coming up next. As always, thank you so much for watching. And with turn 1 priority rolls coming out, it's going to go over to the Nomads. We immediately see a charge from Oro into Cypher. 3 attacks on 4s is worth 2 hits, and 1 will wound, also needing 4s. The armor save is going to be made. Reaction attacks coming back across are unsuccessful. We move to Van Saar, where Oculus is going to use both of his actions to move. The Nomads nominate Miku, who is going to use both of his actions to move. These guys have a base of 6 inches, so able to move very quickly across the board. Up for Van Saar, we have Fusion, that is going to use both actions to move, and that is going to bring him into visibility of this long rifle. Bach uses an aim action to hit on 2s, but full cover makes this 4s. He is going to land a hit. He'll be knocked back, but there will be no wound. The newly appointed Prime Helix is going to move up, trying to get his plasma gun in range, and he'll use both of his actions to move. That move draws the attention of one of the Nomad warriors with a blast carbine. Aims down to a 3 with his first action, but full cover will make this 5s. He misses. As we move back to Van Saar, we do have Cypher, who is still locked in combat with Oro. He's going to attempt to flee here and needs to pass a 5-up initiative check, which is good. Oro then needs to pass a 3-up initiative check to make reaction attacks. He fails, so he's able to successfully scoot away. He then fires his last gun short range and gets a hit. This is going to pin Oro. He does wound on 4s, and the armor save will be failed, so Oro will take a wound. Next, the Nomads send their runner Piku up the stairs. and after scoping things out, he uses his second action to move again. And after a very quick turn 1, Saar getting extremely lucky there up top, able to successfully break away from the champion and then pin him. No bottle checks or recovery rolls need to be made. We do have a fighter coming on from reserve. This is Nexus with the plasma pistol and shield of the previous Prime von Marx. Tactics cards are drawn with the Nomads getting Now You See Me, Saar getting Defensive Protocols. We're moving to turn 2. The Nomads will take it, and Miku is going to spring into action with a Blast Carbine. He does have Cypher in short range. He rolls up a 1, however, and the shot misses. Cypher is going to take this opportunity to now charge into Oros, and he will get 2 attacks on the charge. With 2 swings and a weapon skill of 4, he does successfully land 1 hit. Strength and toughness are equal, so 4s will be needed again. There is a wound, an armor save will be taken, and it will be passed, so Oro will make reaction attacks. With 2 attacks base and a weapon skill of 4, he does land 1 hit, which does not convert into a wound. These 2 stay locked in combat. The Nomads take the next activation. A long rifle shot with an infrasight is going to hit the new Prime Helix. He did aim that down as well, so he is going to be knocked back. Strength 4, so it's going to wound on 3s, which is successful. It does get through his armor, and he will take a wound. Next we have Oculus, who uses his first action to move. His second is going to be to fire a Rad Beamer, and he did bring one of the Nomad warriors into line of sight. With a ballistic skill of 2, he hits despite partial cover, and hits twice with rapid fire. It's only strength 2, however, he does no wounds. We do roll up for a 4-up Radphage, and the target suffers a flesh wound. We then roll up for an initiative check on a 2+. He is going to be fine, using the railing to stay on the walkway. Next up, the Nomads play Now You See Me, and this allows the Watcher to disappear. He can then reappear within 9 inches, and he lines up a shot with his Charge Caster. He fires a crack rocket, hitting his target at strength 6. That's going to be 2s to wound. That is going to be successful. It rips right through his armor, causing 3 damage, and Cypher goes out of action. The lasting injury result is a 24, which will be out cold. With Cypher going down, Helix is going to get to his feet. He elects to fire his plasma gun upwards at Oro. The shot, however, is going to miss as he is in full cover. As we move back to the Nomads, from across the table, Tara is going to line up a shot, now targeting Helix again, who is also in full cover. He is going to aim. 5s are required, and he does land a hit with his Blast Carbine. That is going to cause a wound. The armor save is going to be failed, and an injury die will be rolled out here as he goes down to 0 wounds, and disaster has struck the Saar gang. Helix rolls up a 46, becoming hobbled. That reduces his movement by 1. Nearby tech Fusion fails his cool check, becomes broken, gets up and makes a run for cover. Priority moves back to House Saar. We have Nexus, who moves forward with 2 moves. Piku is then going to use an action to get to his feet. The second will be to climb the ladder, getting into cover. Turn 2 comes to a close, and it could not have gone any worse for Cybernetic. The gang loses Fusion to a Charge Caster Crack Rocket, and then Helix was taken down at range from a Blast Carbine. A bottle check will be required here, but on a roll of 1, Saar is going to stick around for another turn. Fusion is going to roll to rally in the end phase. Master Sniper and Overcharge are the tactics cards that are drawn, and Saar takes the initiative for turn 3. Nexus climbs the ladder, fires his plasma pistol at Tora, has the warrior in the open, easily lands a hit. This was overcharged to strength 7, and it fails to wound, just needing 2s. Tora does fail a 3-up initiative test and plummets to the bottom, takes a strength 3 hit, which fails to wound. Up top, the Nomads activate the Watcher Oro, who is going to aim and fire his Charge Caster in blast mode, targeting the terrain beside Helix. Even at a -2, it still hits, and this is going to shock auto wound. He fails the armor save, and Oculus ends up taking a wound. Recently recovered Fusion is going to use his first action to move. His second will be to fire his last gun, targeting Oro up top. He's got full cover here, but still able to land a hit, rolling up a 5. He does wound on a 4+. The armor save is taken and failed, so an injury die will be rolled out here for Oro as he goes down to 0 wounds. He rolls up a serious injury, then takes an initiative check and fails on a 1. He just needed a 2 up. He then plummets 8 inches to the bottom, takes a massive hit, which is going to wound. And no more injury dice are coming out here, and he's going to take 2 flesh wounds. Back to the Nomads, Tara lines up a shot with an aim against Nexus. The shot is going to miss, however. Back to House Van Saar, the Archaeotech Oculus will use his first action to get to his feet. His second is going to be to fire his Rad Beamer, and he will be targeting the Watcher Oro. Lands a hit. He does run out of ammo. That needed a 5 up. Oro is operating on a toughness of 1. He is going to get wounded. The Rad Phage roll is going to fail, but anything rolled here, flesh wound or not, is going to take him out of action. He rolls up a serious injury, which is another flesh wound. The D66 is a 46, so he will become hobbled as well. Moving back to the Nomads, we've got Bach with his long rifle. He does have fast shot, so he treats his shoot as a simple action. He misses on the first shot targeting Nexus, but does hit on the second. He gets knocked back and pinned. Strength 4, the wound roll of 3 is successful. The armor save is good, however. An initiative check from Nexus is passed. And then we've got Miku walking into a position to fire. While his shot does hit Nexus, it does not wound. We stay with the Nomads, and Piku, the runner, activates. He is going to pass an initiative check to hop down a level. He is then going to pass another initiative check to hop down yet another level, and then finish up his movement. Turn 3 wraps up, and now the Nomads will owe a bottle check as well. House Van Saar is going to roll up theirs first. They roll up a 2 and are good. The Nomads follow behind them with a bottle test, and they are going to be good as well, rolling up a 4. With no recovery test to be made, both sides draw a lucky shot from their decks, and Van Saar does win the priority. Nexus immediately gets to his feet, fires a plasma gun targeting Bach, is going to hit, rolls up at 6. They did play Overcharge, giving an additional Strength +2. Takes it to a Strength 7, even in low mode. It is going to do a wound. The armor save is no good. An injury die will come out here for Bach. It will be a flesh wound. They elect to use Lucky Shot to reroll this back out, turning it into a serious injury. An initiative check will be taken and passed on a 3+. A nearby cool check from Tara will be rolled out and is successful. Tara immediately aims and fires, but rolls a 1 and misses. Going to use Lucky Shot here, just needs a 4 with partial cover, still going to miss. We've then got Fusion, who uses his first action to move. His second will be to fire across at Piku, and he is going to miss with his last gun. The warrior Miku then rolls into position, and he strikes with his blast carbine, needs a 4. He is going to wound as well. The armor save on Nexus is failed, and an injury die rolls out. That is going to be a flesh wound. An initiative check is failed, and Nexus will plummet 3 inches down to the bottom, takes a strength 3 hit. That wounds on a 4. The armor save is going to be failed, and Nexus luckily ends up taking another flesh wound. Next we move to Oculus, and a few things here. We're going to allow him to roll his Munitioneer reroll for the ammo check from last time. It does fail. He is trying to reload his Rad Beamer, and rolling each of these reloads and getting a reroll for Munitioneer. None of them are successful, and he is still without ammo. Next we have Bach, who is going to activate. He makes a crawl for cover. We then have the Dust Runner Piku, who is going to get on top of the building here and continue to make his way towards Nexus. With the turn over, we roll up a bottle test, and House Van Saar is still okay. It's the Nomads that have actually bottled in this game as they roll up a 4. They have 2 fighters down or out. That is a 6, and that is a bottle. The Watcher Oro is going to roll back over with a flesh wound. Initiative rolls go out, and it will go back to the Nomads. Tactics cards are Bait and Switch, which you are seeing right now, and Weakened Physiology for the Van Saar gang. With all of the cool checks for the Nomads good, Tara walks to the edge of the building, fires his blast carbine straight down, and he is going to hit, and with a 6 it is going to shock, which is auto wound. The save is failed, the injury die is going to be out of action regardless, and he rolls up a 63, which is going to be critical. The former Prime's equipment appears to be more of a curse than a boon. Fusion rolls into range, attempts to fire across the board. He is out of range, however, the ammo check is good. Piku attempts to return fire, but he's also out of range. The ammo check is good. His second action is just to move into cover. We've then got Munitioneer rolls as Oculus tries to get this Rad Beamer unjammed, unsuccessful. The rest of the activations belong to the Nomads, and their Dust Runner makes a move. We then have Bach, who is going to get to his feet and make a move as well, getting into cover. At the end of this one, this 3 is going to lead to a Van Saar bottle, so now both gangs will be taking cool tests. We start seeing those cool tests rattle off now for the Nomads, and they are going to pass all of their cool tests once again. All of them easily good. We roll over to the Van Saar guys. 2 1s from Oculus, he is going to head off the board, and then a 3 from Fusion. The last of them will be off the board. So it appears Van Saar are throwing in the towel on this one as the rest of their fighters retreat off the board. The Nomads are going to take their first win of the season, and the post-game report is coming right up. And welcome to the post-game, where the Ashways Nomads will improve their record to 1-2, while the Van Saar gang will fall to 0-2. The Plasma Pistol and Energy Shield of Von Marks appear to be cursed, as they've now had to be scavenged from 2 battlefields. It has been tough sledding for Van Saar so far, but they had a lot of opportunities in this one. They just got really unlucky in a lot of cases. The long shot from a Blast Carbine against Helix, that required a 5, I believe, to hit, and then, of course, penetrate his armor with a 4+, him fail an armor save, and then another out of action that was rolled. A lot of that really improbable, but ended up happening. The Nomads had some really beneficial tactics cards there, with Now You See Me, being able to disappear, reappear, and get a shot off. That's what initially caused that first injury, where Cypher was doing pretty good up there, holding his own. Both gangs were on a low model count, so it really was just trying to get that first injury or out of action out of the way, and then holding on while the other gang had to pass bottle tests. The Nomads proved to just be much more resilient in this one with their bottle checks, and they stayed in the game where House Van Saar did not. So with the Nomads claiming victory, they will get 50 credits for their efforts today. The Warrior Tara got a ton of experience in this one, and he is going to be our man of the match for this one. There were numerous injuries to report, but none greater than Nexus, who was escorted to the dock, but with a 70 credit bill, the gang could not afford to keep him alive, and he died as a result. House Van Saar will get 25 credits for their battle today, but they're going to need something more than just credits in the future if they wish to change their destiny in this one. And that wraps up episode 16. I really appreciate you taking the time to watch this battle report. A massive shout out to the Supporters Club. Your names are on the screen now. If you'd like any information on that, links will be down in the description below. It's by no means necessary. If you've watched the video this far, you've done more than enough to support the channel, so thank you so much. We have a lot of cool things coming for Necromunda, so I hope you stay tuned, and we will see you in the next one. Take care.